Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Kris Avalon. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I just wanted to come on. Welcome to Kris Avalon Unfiltered, where basically it's a simple show. We just come on and talk about what's going on in social, all things social media, hot topics, pop culture is going on and it's trending. I'm gonna talk about it. So that's basically what this show is. We do have a couple of topics that um I wanted to basically hit up on. So we're going to be talking about the latest Scream 7 news. A lot of stuff that came out about Scream 7 yesterday from an article from the Hollywood Reporter. We're going to go over that. I'm going to give my thoughts about it because apparently Scream is getting a whole reboot. We have some tea on Roland Ray. He is a cackle. I saw this video. I was like, we need to bring it up on this show and we definitely got to talk about it. Um, there are new reports going on regarding the whole Wade Robson, Michael Jackson SA case. So we're going to talk about that. Also, Billy Porter is going through it with his ex-husband. They fighting over a dog. And I want to try something different. So I don't want to always just talk about entertainment news and hot topics and things. There is something that's going on regarding, I also want to bring in things that's going on within our community, that, the queer community, and conversations that we have within our community and that are up for debate. So there's some stuff with that. So there was a video that went viral on Gay Magazine that I saw, and I was like, "Oh, this would be a good topic to talk about." Which is basically about a gay man who pretty much is like he was just over straight people occupying queer spaces. So I got some thoughts on that and a whole lot more. So also before we get started, please follow me down in on my social media stuff. I put it in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you look down in the description, it's got a link to all my other stuff. So my YouTube, which is the Kris Avalon. I got my Cash App up in here, which is the Kris Avalon. Also, my Facebook, which is Kris Avalon, Kris.Avalon.94. So basically, you can follow me on all of that. And yeah, down in the description has all the stuff. So it's got my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, all of that stuff. So if you look up in there, you could definitely follow me if you like. So, without further ado, let's get into these topics. Oh, God. So, there's a new report going around that, I'm sure, you already heard the tea regarding like Scream 7, that Melissa Barrera was fired. They said they fired her about a month before they made the announcement. Then there was stories that came out that she didn't even know that she was fired, that she found out from Jenna Ortega. I don't necessarily know what to believe at this point because it's like it's a he says, she says situation, and we'll probably never know what happened in regards of between them and in the studio and Spyglass and all this stuff. But we know that the reason why they said they got rid of her is because she apparently made anti-Semitic stuff. And I feel like people are just throwing the anti-Semitism word around a little too loosely. And, with me, because, I went to college to study film, but also I had to take a sociology class and I got an A in it. So I think I know a lot about critical thinking and sociology and looking, in between the lines for the truth. And upon further research, I looked at a lot of her posts on social media because there's a thread that's on, not Threads, because I don't mingle with Threads. I don't even like that site. I think that site is stupid. But I looked on Twitter. I ain't calling it that other word. Like, X is the stupidest name I've ever heard. Why you even mess with that? I'm just calling it Twitter. It's always gonna be Twitter in my eyes. But anyway, so I went on Twitter. There was a thread that basically posted all of the things that Melissa Barrera was posting about the ceasefire and everything that's going on over in Gaza and that situation. I'm not getting into the whole rabbit hole of it all. You can Google schmoogle and figure it out and look it up and come up to your own conclusion. So I went down this rabbit hole, and I did not see anything that she said up in there that was anti-Semitic, that was against, Israel, that was, calling them out on ways. The only thing she was calling them out on is that she just doesn't understand why there's like y'all going around just killing these people over in Palestine. Regardless of how you feel the situation with, Hamas and all the stuff, these are still innocent people that are getting killed, particularly a lot of children that are being, blown to bits, shot at, all this other stuff. So we have a temporary ceasefire. I know a lot of people don't like the word ceasefire, but that's what it is. And I don't like to sugarcoat nothing. Hence why this show is called Kris Avalon Unfiltered. So, so that all happened. Then Jenna Ortega, in 24 hours after the whole situation that went down with Melissa being fired, Apparently, the thing that happened was they said that Jenna Ortega had dropped out due to scheduling conflicts. But in my opinion, I feel like if there are scheduling conflicts, you will go above and beyond to try to secure this actress to be a part of your franchise, especially since Jenna Ortega is hot right now. Her and Jacob Elordi, these are the two actors right now that Hollywood is just seeking, that they want a part of their films, their shows, all this other stuff. I know she's going to be busy shooting Wednesday in Ireland. They could have figured out a way to make her become a part of the franchise and continue the story between the Carpenter sisters, which, in my opinion, yeah, the way they left that ending open, it felt like it was a bit of closure, but it was still open ended in my opinion, and I feel like they still could have gone somewhere. Like we could have gotten the backstory of them trying to work out their relationship with their mother, because we knew their mother, the relationship between them and their mother Christina was not on the best of terms. So them going back to Woodsboro and working that all out, and I heard it was supposed to take place around the Christmas holidays. That would have been a perfect way to introduce Christina Carpenter into the franchise. The kids go home for winter break because Jenna's in, Tara's in college. Sam wasn't in college. She was just working and beating, fighting people who was coming at her for, the whole crap of the viral and all that stuff. You know what happened in Scream 6. So um there was a lot of that was going on. So they had that, and then it would have been nice to see, like, oh, they go home for the holidays and there's a whole thing that happens, and then the ghost faces going, come home, the chickens come home to roost. So they come, Ghostface does his thing over during the holidays. That would have been a cool thing. However, I guess we'll never know how that story wrapped, because shortly after they fired her, Jenna Ortega was like, I'm not coming back and I'm quitting. So now, yesterday, a story came out. So they went up saying a whole bunch of other stuff is the reason why. They said the reason why was for scheduling conflicts. But then I was like, okay, I started thinking more about it. And I was like, the math is not mathing in regards to why they fired, why she quit. Because to me, they were like, oh, she didn't just leave because of Melissa. She left because, there was scheduling conflicts. But I don't know. Something in the milk didn't feel clean to me. It felt like that Spyglass was trying to save face, because after they fired Melissa, the fans were pissed and they were like, they're boycotting. I don't know if this will affect the movie down the road, with the general horror movie goer, but I do feel like Scream has enough fans where they're just like, they're not going to invest. So I don't know. So so the article came out, and I'm going to pull that up. Hold on a second. And yeah, so the article came out yesterday, and this is basically what it said. So, we already know the tea, what happened with us. So we don't need to go over the whole Melissa Barrera being fired and all that stuff about the Israel-Hamas war. Okay, so they said that on November 22nd came the news that Barrera's on-screen sister Jenna Ortega had quietly exited the franchise months earlier. Scheduling issues were cited, but sources say Ortega, who has skyrocketed from child star to supporting player in last Scream's Scream to the A-list, thanks to her turn in the Netflix series Wednesday, asked for a bigger payday for the seventh installment commensurate with her status. Unlike Barrera, sources say Ortega had no real deal in place. Now, that don't make no sense, because they're saying, like, wait a minute. So, unlike Barrera, Ortega had no deal in place. So y'all had them, they said that they signed them up for a 2-film deal. They didn't have them signed on for another movie. However, they implied that this is supposed to be a trilogy. So how do you sign people up for 2 movies if the intent was a trilogy? But of course, if you have people sign up for a 2-film deal, they get that fee for however whatever the deal was that they signed up for. When you go for the 3rd film, that's when you re-up and you ask for more money, which is what most actors, or if not all actors, do. If you want them to come back, they do it on TV shows, they do it in films, so on and so forth. So I don't know. I'm not believing this story. I'm sorry. I don't care. I get that it's from the Hollywood Reporter, and the Hollywood Reporter is a reputable source when it comes to talking about things that's going on in Hollywood. However, Hollywood Reporter is also a trade that is deep within the Hollywood circle. So they're going to report what they're being told by a studio because they have that relationship with them. So take it as so in that situation, I say take it as you will. So it said that she was paid 6 figures for the previous installments, but her team now wants projects with significant paydays. And they also was sitting there saying that because, this is, to me, if you look at it, this is similar to the issue that they had with Nev Campbell, where Nev Campbell felt like, you know what, I've been a prominent staple in this franchise. I've been in 5 of the movies. Um, I've been a part of this franchise since the beginning. They've written this whole story based around Sidney Prescott and the sins of her mother and the people that were in her life that, whatever her mother was doing, it was falling up on the daughter and so it was that whole dynamic. It was always about Sidney, it was about Dewey and Gail. Until part 5 when they killed Dewey off, which pissed off the fans. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So yeah, so they lost Nev, and then there were reports going around that they were considering bringing Nev back because they lost 2 out of the core 4. And I'm like, why would she try to come back to deal with you guys after the way you treated her and then you treated her castmates? So to me, it just looks like they have no respect for their stars or the scream queens that we have as a part of this franchise. So this line is kind of what irritated me because they said that, well, not this line. I'm gonna get to the line, but this is the paragraph right here. So Spyglass head Gary Barber is known for his shrewd business sense or for being cheap, depending on what side of the table you're on. Multiple reports, multiple sources, sorry, had said. So I do believe that because Gary Barber has been given frugal. Like if you looked at like when we said like when I just mentioned before about the whole thing with him and Nev Campbell, the fact that Nev came to the table, wanted a certain percentage. Now here's the thing: the franchise, I believe, the budget was under $30 million. So I think it was about, let's just throw a number out there. I believe it was about 25 million because I did the research and the actual budget didn't pop up, but I do believe it was around the 20 to $25 million mark. The last one I believe made close to $170 million. So I think about 167. If this franchise on a $25 million budget or a $25 million budget grossed $167 million, that's pretty good for a slasher film, for a horror film, because horror films, particularly slasher films, go for cheap. They're not expensive movies to make. So I don't understand why it's okay. You could have paid her the money, or you could have just given her a back end deal. So depending on how much the movie grossed at the box office, you could have gave Nev a percentage because she has, like I said, been a staple of this franchise for over 2 decades. So I don't understand why they couldn't have gave her that. But they just feel like all you actors are disposable, that the fans don't care, that they're going to watch it regardless. But I don't agree with that because the fans. The reason why Scream 6 worked is because the core 4 was already established in Scream 5, not to the extent that we would have liked them to. They were fleshed out, in my opinion, a bit more in Scream 6, but in Scream 5, we already were aware of the core 4. We knew about the twins because they were related to Randy. So there was that association. Plus, we had the legacy cast members. So we had Sidney, Gail, and Dewey. They were a part of Scream 5. So that was why we were interested in wanting to watch Scream 6 because we were already acquainted with the core 4. So I don't understand why they would think, oh, they're disposable. We don't need. Oh yeah, this is the line because I didn't even get to that part yet. The line where he said he didn't need Nev, he doesn't need Jenna. This is what the insider said. Many predicted the film would fail without its original star, but it ended up being the biggest movie in the franchise since the 1996 original. Barber's apparent takeaway is that neither stars nor large salaries are essential. He didn't need Nev, he doesn't need Jenna. Okay, well if that's the way you feel, then okay, that's the way you feel. However, I don't see this franchise. Um, I don't know. I just don't feel like I don't know what the future of the franchise holds. Now, for what I've been hearing is that they're gonna do a full-on reboot because with this, you're saying you don't need Neb, screw her. Now you don't need now you don't need Jenna, you don't need Melissa, you don't need all these other people. I don't know what's happening with Mason Gooding, and I don't know what's happening with Jasmine Savoy Brown. I don't know if those two are coming back. I mean, at this point, they might as well, I guess not, or they'll figure out a way to finagle them in. I don't know what's going to happen. I know they're reworking the script. Who knows what the future holds with this franchise? I am hearing that they're going to do a full on reboot. At this point, do we need a full on reboot in 2024 when, in fact, this whole thing is hovering over them and we don't know what the future holds in regards to the franchise, like how the fans are going to even take this in. I will say this, I'm not necessarily a hardcore Scream fan. I am a casual fan. I've been someone who has watched the franchise since the very beginning, from the first movie, and then when they started coming out, I went to the movies to see each one because I didn't want to be ruined of who the killers were. So I did like that whole dynamic. Yeah, y'all changed up the characters in every movie, meaning the killers were always changed up throughout each sequel because that was the charm of Scream, is that we got a new killer every movie. Now with but as far as the Scream Queens go, if y'all had established this franchise like y'all like Friday the 13th, where we got a new Scream Queen every movie, but Jason was the star, that would be different. This Scream is not like that. Scream is, you know, it's always the killer's change, but the story's always revolved around Sydney because y'all kept her through so many of the movies. And then with, the core four, you started doing multiple movies with these characters. So when y'all have established that you make multiple movies with the same actors, it is about the actor. It's not about necessarily what the studio wants. But okay, if this is what Spyglass wants to do, they can do whatever the hell they want. They're the ones with the budget. They're the ones with the money. They're the ones putting up the foot in the bill to produce these projects. But you have to realize is that what? At the end of the day, we as the consumer, we as the viewer, have a right to protest as well, and we have a right to protest with our money. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say, I know I saw a lot of people on social media. I'm not watching that movie. I'm not, I'm someone. Me as someone who talks about movies and talks about celebrity news and gossip, I am curious to see what they're going to do with this franchise. So, um, I don't know. I may actually go see this film, depending. I need to see a trailer. I need to see a log line. I need to see the reviews. I need to know, the whole rollout has got to really reel me in order for me to see and support this movie. Because if it doesn't, then yeah, I'm not going to support it. I can't be out here and just well, I'm not going to support the movie in protest with these other people. That's just very, whatever. But it all depends on the way they market this film and if they make it interesting. Because at the end of the day, we can protest up to the cows come home, but and only time will tell when all of this rollout happens, um, if the fans will go, or just the regular horror movie goers will go and see this film. And also, I think the reason why a lot of people were drawn to Scream 6 is because it felt that there was a different change. First of all, they based it in New York, which we already know is Canada. It was not New York, share. I'm from New York, and I knew that wasn't New York. But they did a good job of trying to make it look like New York. So I'll definitely give them kudos to that. Like the way they shot the film, it was like it felt that it had that New York energy, even though I could tell it wasn't New York. But anyway, so I like the fact that they switched it up from Woodsboro to New York. It had more of a urban street, very much type of feel. So it was a different type of vibe. It seemed like it was more scarier. Um, Ghostface was far more brutal. And on top of that, I'm a fan of Christopher Landon. I like a lot of the movies that he's done and on the horror genre, that he's really good at mixing horror and comedy. So I'm definitely I was really looking forward to seeing what he was going to do with the core four and the possibility of bringing City back. I was really curious to seeing that. But now with this thing hovering over him, I do kind of feel bad that he's stuck in this situation. And good luck to you, sir, because um I'm excited to see. I don't know. I'm still kind of excited to see the movie. So we'll see what happens. But it's unfortunate. I don't know if it's too soon for a reboot. I feel like a reboot would have worked if it was maybe you took like 5 years away from the Scream, and then you came back and did a full reboot with new characters, but it's still, the whole Ghostface situation. They're really gonna have to figure out a way to make this work. It's either that or Spyglass. The best thing you could do at this point is sell the franchise. Like, you need to sell the franchise. Otherwise, I feel like you have just pretty much dug your own grave, and this movie's going to bomb at the box office big time. So, I'm sure there's more stuff that's going to come out about this film. I can go on and talk about this forever, but I got other topics to get to. So let's get to those. So our next topic on, the docket that we're going to get to is let's talk about Roland Ray, who went in and let have on Hazel E. Now, for those of you who have not been, paying attention to the tea that's been spilling this week, I don't really pay attention to much of it either. But I was like, but the thing with Roland Ray, I was like, okay, this was interesting enough for me to come on here and talk about. So, when it happened first, earlier this week, I believe Hazel did an interview with Tasha K, who's always seemed to be in the center of every damn thing. And of course, Cardi B's name came up. um she started saying some mess about Cardi, somehow that she basically don't be giving Nikki her flowers. I don't know why the whole Cardi Nikki thing always has to be brought up. Can we move on from that? Nikki is doing her own thing, trying to figure out when the hell she going to put out this Pink Friday 2. The people is dragging her because she keeps delaying it, and then people say that she's bringing leftovers from old damn albums onto the new album, and so she's being dragged left and right. Because I've been seeing the posts, I've been seeing the tweets, and people are really sick of Nikki and her mess. But that's not here nor there. We're not here to talk about her. We're here to talk about Hazel, and we're here to talk about Cardi. But Hazel did bring up Nikki, so that's why that whole thing came in. So Cardi clapped back because I guess somebody online said something, and Cardi went and said something back in the comments, but then also did a video and started going on and on and on about it. Cardi, I really wish you would just focus on putting out the follow-up to this debut album instead of fighting with people online and always having an opinion about shit. Save that, put that in the music. You be having stuff to say about what's going on with New York and Mayor Adams and all the price things, and then cutting the libraries and closing them on Sunday. Put all that, put the political raps in your music, mix it up. Stop always talking about your vagina and bring other things in there. So save that for that. I'm tired of her going on the E2, or not even YouTube, it's Instagram or whatever. She's always on there talking about stuff. But I mean, I appreciate it's entertaining, but girl, where's the music? But anyway, so she started talking about her, she clapped back, then I guess Hazel went and said something, and then her sister Hennessy, but honey, I feel like calling her Chardonnay because ever since Patti LaBelle called her Chardonnay, now that's all I want to be calling her, is the same thing. So her sister Chardonnay got on the line and went in and started dragging Hazel, which was a cackle. And I was like, and then I posted it all on my social media. So like on my Facebook, I took the screenshots and I posted on there, and people was in the comments making their comments. Then what had happened was Roland Ray got on the line and said that Hazel E took $2,000 from him, that he wanted her to come and do a song. First of all, why of all people you chose her? Her raps is whack. She has no talent. And there's that. So Roland Ray decided he wanted to do a feature with her and said that she took his $2,000. Now I do have the clip in case y'all haven't seen it. And we're gonna get right to that clip right about now. Hold on. Roll the clip.
That bitch, Hazel E, is broke as shit. She's a broke ass bitch. Oh, yeah. She's running around talking about Cardi B, talking about Masika, talking about Megan Thee Stallion, talking about Sigurd Marie, and all these girls. But she ain't talking about how she's broke and how she stole $2,000 from me. Or $2,000. Yeah. I gave her $2,000 to record a song a few months ago. Oh, yeah. Stop playing so much, Hazel E. Oh, it's wrong. So 1K was for her daughter's fee, for her daughter Ava, to put her in daycare, yeah. And the other 1K was for her fee, just for to give her the money, I guess, for her, her time or whatever the case may be. Cool. Soon as she told me how much it was, I sent it over like it was nothing, Miss Motherfucking Muffin. Oh, a few weeks later, I started seeing her defending Tory Lanez. So I was thinking to myself, how am I going to work with someone who is defending Tory Lanez and I actually rock with Megan Thee Stallion? Oh, that's not a good look for me, my brain, or for me at all, or for Hazel E for that matter. So I talked with myself and I was like, oh, Rolling Ray, I think it's given. I don't want to do this song with her. Mind you, I never sent her the beat. Oh, I never sent her the song. I never sent her nothing pertaining to the song. All I did was send her the money. Or she never even arranged. I never gave her a date to record. She never even set up the daycare for her daughter. Oh, so I text her and I was like, you know what, Hazel E, it's not gonna be no song. Just keep the other 1K for your time and for your deposit. But the other 1K that was for your daughter daycare, send me my 1K back. Or she ignored me down, or ain't send me no money back, was ignoring me down. So I'm like, oh, ignore me. Oh, what's wrong? So she going off on all these other celebrities calling them broke, saying how the secret did PPP loans and all that, but she's stealing from Roland Ray or my $2,000. I didn't even want the whole 2K back. I understand. I gave you a whole 1K for your fee. All your name Hazel E. So I paid my fee. All was wrong. But at the end of the day, give me that 1K back that was for Ava's daycare because I never told you a day to record. And we never sat down and said record this day and that day or stop playing so much. Or at the end of the day, there was no song. Also, then she texts back, which I have receipts of. She texted and was like, oh, I just moved back to LA. We can settle this after I finish moving in. She was like, I just had a Halloween party for my daughter. As soon as I'm done, I'm gonna talk about sending you the money. X, Y, and Z. Or the Halloween party was over, girl. Peekaboo. All Ghostbusters went back away, and all that, girl. It's giving November. Or November come, girl. It's still no money coming to my phone. Or something like Hazel E was wrong. So I was like, I don't want to expose you to the blogs because it's getting very much. I really fuck with you all. We was friends. If she never had get like this over no money. She like, basically, I don't got the money. In Lang's terms, I don't got that money. You should have been said that all this is wrong. All I'm asking for is 1K back. I gave you a free 1K. Give my money back, Hazel E. But you went around telling everybody how they doing you and all this and all that. But look how you doing people. And I'm not perfect. I did people wrong too. But it's between me and Hazel E. At the end of the day, baby, pay your fee. Pay me my $1,000 back. What's wrong? You never got no daycare for your daughter. So give me my $1,000 back and keep the other 1,000.
Ooh, my mic was muted. Okay, we back. Okay, so that I feel like y'all got the gist of what went down, the whole conversation, all the other good stuff. So yeah, so basically he was just saying that, she out here talking about this, that, and the third, but he, lent her 2 grand. And he said basically you could just give me the $1,000 back and then you get to keep $1,000. You were talking about you need a daycare for your child and all this other stuff. And what I don't understand is that, you know what? Unless, nobody is perfect. And I do agree with Roland Ray because he said that, he's done people wrong. We know he's done people wrong based on the stuff that we've heard and how he like to charge people fees for interviews and things. But at the end of the day, it's like, unless your shit is clean, you should not be out here trying to come for people and dragging people. Like, I don't understand why people always gotta have it, Cardi B naming their mouth. She's out here doing her thing. Let her do her thing. You go off and do your thing and try to make yourself relevant by actually putting out some music that people want to listen to and not be quick to throw shade at other people that are out here doing what they doing. Like, I don't understand, like, what are you gonna get out of throwing, fighting Cardi B or coming out and dragging her? It's like, just go off and do what you need to do and mind your damn business. But I understand it's like, you know, old girl needed her clicks and likes, as in Tasha K. She still got Cardi name in her mouth, and Cardi was like, "Oh, at one point I was feeling bad for her, and I was gonna withdraw my case." But then after a situation that she had recently, she was like, mm-mm. She realized the leopard ain't never going to change its spots, and I do agree. It's like, to me, when I look at a Tasha K. She ain't never gonna change. She ain't changed from the beginning when she refused to pull down the defamatory stuff that she said about her and about Cardi in the first place. So why would you think that she would change as a person? Like, she was never going to change who she is. So, Hazel, good luck to you. I don't know how you out here taking care of yourself and your child anyway. I mean, I know you going through it with your ex, and he was talking mad shit about her, talking about he glad the baby ain't got her looks. Well, that's probably why she kept getting all that damn surgery and all other stuff. But yeah, so Rolling Ray out here spilling tea, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the entertainment. So good luck to y'all. I just want y'all to hear that. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about Wade Robson. So now I totally forgot about this whole case with choreographer Wade Robson. You know, he's notorious. He's basically known for he's done a lot of choreography, but he's mostly known for um being the choreographer for Britney Spears back in the day. You know, when he did the infamous "I'm a Slave for You" choreography, that's him. Then if you read her book, The Woman in Me, you know them two had a situation of the sexual kind that went on. She said they kissed, but child, we know it was a whole lot more than that. Like y'all was hunching for a minute. So apparently he said that Michael Jackson sexually assaulted him, and now they're talking about that the case is one step closer to going to trial. So the Bombshell, this is according to Radar Online. Now, the Bombshell sexual abuse civil case against the estate of the now deceased king of pop, Michael Jackson, is one step closer to going to trial. Wade Robson claims that he was just 7 years old when the Billie Jean singer molested him at the Neverland Ranch in Santa Barbara while his sister slept in another nearby bed. This is according to the explosive lawsuit. Robson was prominently featured in the HBO docuseries Leaving Netherland, which I'm sorry I did not watch because I don't know. I just didn't care to watch it. But I know a lot of people was dragging him and the other guy in the comments for the accusations. I do remember that. So it says they got a huge break in August when the California Court of Appeals reversed a 2021 decision that tossed out his lawsuits against Michael's MJJ Productions and MJJ Ventures. The hitmaker's estate was expected to appeal the decision to the California Supreme Court. Now a trial conference was set for February 28th, 2024 by Judge Mark A. Young. At the hearing, the judge will set a trial date for Robson's case. Now, Radio Online did previously report that Robson, who is now 41, claimed that the Beat It singer first made sexual advances at his massive amusement park styled home, and the abuse continued for a period of 7 years, saying, and I quote, "We can never tell anyone what we are doing," Jackson told Robson, according to new court documents obtained by Radar Online. "People are ignorant and they would never understand that we love each other, and this is how we show it. If anyone were to ever find out, our lives and careers would be over." This is what, according to Robson, that Michael had said to him. Now, when Robson returned to his native Australia, I did not know he was Australian. Maybe I've never really heard him speak, but I've never heard like an Australian accent. I mean, I don't know. Let me know if he got one, but I never knew that he had an accent. I've never heard it when he talked. But anyway, when Robson returned to his native Australia following his 2 week stay at Neverland, the relationship with the 13-time Grammy Award winner allegedly continued via faxes and frequent telephone chats that lasted for hours each week. Now, Jackson, who died from an OD at age 50 in 2009, allegedly encouraged Robson to call him dad, while the singer affectionately called him son. In 2012, Robson claimed that he eventually realized he had been systematically abused after suffering multiple nervous breakdowns, coupled with feelings of extreme stress, anxiety, fear, depression, and insomnia. The singer's late lawyer, Howard Wiseman, scoffed at Robson's claim, saying, "This is a young man who has testified at least twice under oath over the last 20 years and said in numerous interviews that Michael Jackson never did anything inappropriate to him or with him." Now, nearly 4 years after Michael has passed, this sad and less than credible claim has been made. We are confident that the court will see this for what it is. Okay, so, well, if they're saying all of that, now you said that the relationship, because they said that the relationship continued after he returned home to Australia via faxes and frequent telephone chats. Now, if there's a way that they could pull all that in and find out what was in them faxes, if he saved them, or if there's anything in the phone calls, I don't know how that whole thing is going to work. If he can prove that some of this stuff went down, then we shall see what the situation is. But I don't know. This is this is unfortunate. I hope that this is not a money grab or a shakedown that you're doing this, because I don't know. I don't want to. I always say when I'm doing these type of shows that I don't want to discredit or go against what um people are saying. We're always supposed to believe the abuser, right? So hopefully that this is not just some sort of thing where Wade is like, okay, well, he did something to me. Okay, maybe at the time when Michael was alive and Michael was promising, I don't know what the reason why he went against and said that Michael didn't do what he, these things when other people were having their, their trials and accusing Michael of molestation. Because this is not the first time that Michael has had these accusations thrown in his direction. So, um, this, with him coming out and saying all of this, it's like, I don't know what the reason is why he didn't say what he said. I'm sure if this goes to trial and the cross-examination happens, a lawyer will bring this up and say, well, why, if Michael's lawyer will be a part of this. I don't know. Whoever they get to be the person that's going to be on the opposing side. So if Howard Weitzman is going to be on the trial and he brings this up in the cross-examination, I'll be curious to hear what Wade's answer will be. Now, and then we'll find out the reason why is it that he all of a sudden came forward. Maybe because, I think a lot of times, I've heard stories that, people who are victims of abuse, they suppress it. They kind of put out of their mind and then something triggers it. And then all of a sudden they remember that something happened and then they don't, they realize, oh my God, I was abused. And then they come forward and they say what needs to be said. And then we take it from there. So I don't know. I'm hoping within this conversation I just had that I broke it on down and I kind of gave my thoughts. But because honestly, I don't know what to think in regard to this. I don't know if I wasn't there. I don't know if Michael Jackson would have been capable of this. I get that, Michael Jackson had he was a big kid and he didn't really have a childhood and he got, and he liked playing with kids and being around kids because there was a sense of innocence there. I hope that's what that is. But then again, we've been hearing so many stories that have come out in Hollywood as of late where we've had grown ass people grooming kids and all this other. Look, Gloria Velez, who y'all know is the baby mother of Aaron Hall, recently just came out and said Uncle Luke groomed her. She said that he the other one, Aaron Hall, groomed her, and Aaron Hall went on record on a Vlad TV interview and said that he likes looking at I'm paraphrasing, but he likes the young girls that be looking a little thick in all the right places. Oh, I wanted that, and I'm a freak, and I have sex in public places. So you kind of made yourself look stupid. I don't know why everybody go on Vlad TV and incriminate themselves, because I've been seeing a lot of that happening lately. But so we've been hearing that, and then there's been so many stories coming out regarding, and not just them, but it's just we've been hearing so many stories about grooming. Look, Russell Simmons allegedly groomed Kimora, that he was with her but she was underage or a teenager. And a lot of times I feel like it's a power dynamic. It has nothing to do with the fact that they love these young girls and the men are older of a certain age. It's a power dynamic where it's like you want to be able to be like, well, I got the money, I got this, I got that, so I get to control, excuse me, the situation. Same thing with Diddy and Cassie. When he got with her, she was like, what? She wasn't even 21 years old. She was a teenager and he was pushing 40 and he got with her. And then we heard the story that happened with that. So, and then with the abuse and all the other stuff. So it seemed like there's this steamrolling situation of abuse and power struggles and all this other stuff that's been coming out. And it's unfortunate that, we've been dealing with all of this and stuff right now. So, you know what? Good luck, Wade, and we'll see what happens in regards of your story regarding Michael Jackson. Because I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. I love Michael Jackson's music. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. But if this turns out to be true, that what he did, ain't no good gonna come to him. But then again, how is Michael gonna suffer? Like Michael's been unalive since 2009. So what? Almost 15 years that he's been dead. 2009 to 19. Yeah, almost 15 years that he's been gone. So I don't know. Hopefully you get your justice if this turns out to be true. But at the same time, like I said, Michael Jackson's dead, so the dead can't defend themselves. So I don't know how we're gonna make this work. Okay, so let's move on and let's talk about Kelly Clarkson, who got a little victory against her no good ass ex-husband. So a story actually came out this morning that Kelly Clarkson, her ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, or I should call ex-husbander, that's he was her husband and manager. He's been ordered to return millions after he overcharged her as her husbander. So, according to TMZ, they're reporting that a labor commissioner has ruled that Brandon had overcharged her by millions when he represented the singer and talk show host as her manager. Now, according to legal docs obtained by TMZ, a California labor commissioner ruled Brandon crossed the line as a manager when he booked gigs and inked deals for Kelly on The Voice, Norwegian Cruise Line, Wayfair, and as host of the Billboard Music Awards. Aside from a few exceptions, only agents, not managers, can lawfully secure roles for talent. And they said that apparently Brandon collects fees for booking the gigs, and the labor commissioner ordered Brandon to fork over these commissions to his former wife, totaling $2,641,374. And they said, fun fact, Brandon scored 1.98 million for commissions for her role on The Voice. By contrast, he only got 93.30. That's $93.30 in commission for Kelly hosting the Billboard Music Awards. So they basically said that Brandon's planning on appealing the ruling, and that Kelly also wanted money Brandon got for scoring her the gig on her talk show, the Kelly Clarkson show. So Brandon gets to keep the money he got from the Kelly Clarkson show, but everything else he got to pay back. But to me, it's just like that's crazy because I always thought like you get the agent is supposed to secure the gigs for you to be working, not the manager. The manager gets 10% off of whatever earnings you get, whatever in regards to your deal. So it's crazy out here how he basically went and how you out here taking advantage of your damn wife and you just taking more of the piece of the pie. You know what this reminds me of with this whole thing with the getting the kickbacks and stuff. I was thinking about this when I was doing this article. I was like, isn't this similar to Latasha Scott and the situation with her no good ass husband who always got in the middle of everything, that the business dealings of escape and all that other mess. So this is what it's giving me in that way, where the whole thing with Kelly Clarkson and her ex-husband and how he was doing what he was doing. And then, all the cheatations and stuff that came out with that he was going around sleeping with, other women and stuff behind his back. And I believe that's that he's Reba McEntire's stepson. So, and I like Reba. Wait, speaking of which, because I don't watch The Voice, has Kelly Clarkson and Reba been on? Oh wait, I don't think they have. But I was like, if Kelly Clarkson and Reba McEntire were on the same show together, child, can you imagine? That would be the mess of all messes. Like y'all can't have them on the same show, especially what happened between her stepson and Kelly. So I know Kelly's up doing a talk show and all the other stuff. She's got that going on, but now they got Gwen Stefani on there with her. So they all doing what they're doing. So that's crazy. And you know what? It's unfortunate, like in my opinion, like the person that you trust that is your husband and your manager, and he's supposed to be someone that you confide in, that you got kids with and all this other stuff. You basically out here robbing her blind. But I'm glad he got his closure. I mean, she got her closure. And the funny enough, I met Kelly Clarkson back when I lived in LA. I was working out at Westfield Mall and I had saw her. She was hanging out. It was her, the kids, and I believe Brandon was there. I'm trying to remember. And it was another woman that was with them too. And they seemed like a big, cozy, happy little family. And she was, and Kelly was very nice. And when I was, when I encountered her and all other stuff. So I'm glad that she's doing what she's doing now. She's doing the talk show is doing well. She's out in New York doing that. I believe she also has a residency. I don't think that new album did well, but Kelly is doing pretty well by herself. She's got a set life, and she's got a good career going, and she is one of the most popular I believe one of the most popular girls to come out of American Idol. So I'm glad she's gotten her closure. And you know what? Good luck to you, Kelly. And ain't no good gonna come to that ex-husband until he do right by her. And he will have to do right by her. Cause like I said, he going to have to pay all that damn money back that he took from her. Cause it said that, like I said, the commission from the wife, he totaled $2,641,374. So good luck, cause man, hopefully I'm sure he got the money to pay her back. So it is what it is. Okay, so now let's get to our next topic, which is let's talk about this messy marriage that's going on between Billy Porter and his ex-husband, Alan Smith. Oh, we got a comment. So, hey Felix, he says her and Carrie Underwood are the most successful out of the American Idol girls. Yes, they are. And I don't know what's going on because I was trying to share my this to my YouTube, my YouTube to Facebook. I don't know, for some reason Facebook's not allowing me to go live on there, and it's not allowing me to post my links and all this. I don't know what's going on with that. So later on when I edit the videos and stuff, I'll put it up there. But so yeah, let's get to this next topic, which is Billy Porter and his ex-husband, Alan Smith, and all the drama that's going on with them. So Billy announced 4 months ago that he was divorcing his ex-husband, Alan Smith, who I also believe was Billy's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was also Billy's manager. Child, was up with people marrying their manager or being in a relationship with their manager, because it always turns out a mess. Wendy Williams had that situation with her manager, Kelvin Hunter, where he's still trying to get money out of her, and I don't know, a lot of people believe she faking this whole mental situation so she ain't got to pay him. I don't know, but if that is what's going on, Wendy, you are a good damn actress. You deserve an Oscar. But they got Wendy with her ex, and the story we just talked about prior to this one, Kelly Clarkson and her no good ass ex-husband who was her manager and getting kickbacks, and now he got to pay her money. And now we got this whole situation with Billy Porter, who are, I believe they are divorced, but they're fighting over custody of their cockapoo that's named Lola. So, after discussing financial matters at a Manhattan court hearing on November 15th, Porter's attorney Margaret Brady accused Smith of keeping the actor away from their dog. Porter allegedly alleges his estranged husband took me off as being the father, per allegedly. In court documents seen by the messenger, Brady told Judge Douglas Hoffman, who proudly noted that he once owned a cockapoo, that, I still want to call it a Shih Tzu cockapoo because wasn't that at one point, I think that's a Joy Behar situation where she called herself, it was her dog, and she wrote a book called Shih Tzu cockapoo. So that's what I want to call it because it's such a funny name because it's a mixture of the dog that she had. But anyway, so they said that Smith had refused to give plaintiff access to the dog since the middle of the summer. We would like to access the schedule. Smith's attorney Dana Stutman intervened and said because Porter gave Smith the pooch as a birthday gift, she did not belong to both Porter and Smith. Brady disagreed, to which Stutman responded, I understand that it doesn't make it separate property. However, for 7 months, this dog, except for one small week, has been with my client, and not one request has come asking for time with him. Sorry. Now, Porter's lawyer quipped, it was refused from the get-go. I had a conversation with my client, and he would like the opportunity to spend time with his dog. Now, things took a turn after Judge Hoffman asked when the Pole star, who introduced Lola to the world via Instagram in 2021, wants to be reunited with the pooch. Let me show y'all what the dog looked like. So y'all can actually see it. Because I was like, oh, she's such a cutie. Okay, so look, that's Lola. That's Lola. She was a showgirl. Such a cute little zorgy. Cute, cute, cute. She's so cute. Okay, so now that you've seen what she looked like, we can get back to the story. So and this is the part that was a cackle. Cause I'm like, oh, y'all spilling tea, chair. Now, Smith's lawyer went and said this. They said, well, as long as he can promise that he's not doing drugs, that he's not having parties. And Porter then responded with, you will not scandalize you. I can hear his voice as I'm saying this. You will not scandalize my name like that, because you know how he's so grand with the way he speaks. And the lawyer for Smith doubled down and told the judge, he said, these are based on fact. They said, these are based on fact, Your Honor, and I'm not trying to do anything that would harm anyone's reputation here. But they brought up the dog, and I'm telling you that, what the concerns have been from the get-go. And so they're trying to work. So basically, long story short, they're trying to work out an agreement. And they said that both Porter and Smith will refrain from drug and alcohol use when they have the dog with them. Or the neutral party would exchange the dog, and then said that Porter wanted to see Lola when he returns to the U.S. from London at the end of the month, because he's off, I believe, promoting the new album that he had released. What was it? Maybe a week or two ago, he released his album Black Mona Lisa. which I told y'all in a previous episode, a previous couple of episodes that I didn't particularly care for. I listened to the album. I was not necessarily a fan of the record. I listened to it. It felt like just basic gay dance music. It was just not my zhuzh. I was not feeling it. So I'm like, it's whatever. If y'all like it, I love it. But I was not a fan of the record. I was just, But I'm glad Billie out here doing what she doing. But yeah, so whew, okay, so basically, you know what? This is a crazy situation. So I like Billy Porter. She could be a bit dramatic at times, but with this whole thing about the dog, I don't know who the ownership. That's what the lawyers are supposed to figure out. Is like, was the dog a gift to Adam, and that Adam feels like, well, now that we're broken up, you get to keep whatever you keep in. Which I don't know if it's the house, because Billy did say a couple of months ago that he got to sell the house because he's apparently, with the writer's strike and the actor strike and all the other stuff that was going on, you know, he was bleeding through money. But with the album out, you can go and at least you can fall back on that and go on and start singing your music and making a coin, being on the road and performing and all that other stuff since you're part of a record label and you're promoting this album. So you can go off and do that. So I don't understand why he's out here talking about he's completely, but I feel like he was being melodramatic with all of that. But then again, I'm not inside your wallet. I don't necessarily know how your whole situation is with that. So I can't sit out here and determine how your financials is because I'm not in your account. So, but I just feel like he's being way more dramatic with I have to sell my house. Remember he said all of that foolishness. And the dog is cute or whatever. So that's what it is. They're gonna have to figure out who can have visitation. My thing would have been this. As cute as the dog is, for me to not have no ties with my ex, you can keep the damn dog. Like my heart will be hurting, my heart will be broke from the situation. But I'm like, I'm not I'm not wasting my time with this whole situation. I'm not gonna waste my time with that because it's like I want to be cut off. I don't know what was the cause of their relationship breaking up. But it's like, no, I don't want to have any connection with you. I don't have no ties. You can have a dog, I'll move on. But this is what they want to do. They want to fight over a dog. Okay, well, I'm gonna sit up here and I'm be nosy and eat my popcorn and sip my little drinky drink, and I'll just be, sipping on the tea and wanting to know how this whole thing turns out. So it's unfortunate that this is what well, Felix said, can't he just get a new dog? Or he can just get, that's what I said. I'm like, just get a new damn dog. Cause, but I know, funny enough, I know like there are people who are more connected to dogs than they are other human beings. Like they love being around other dogs. They don't care around being around other people. They have that stronger connection with them and stuff. So if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But it's funny because I know people who know Billy, and it was like, I live for him, but he could just be a fairly dramatic at times, which we get. Black sassy queens, notorious for being dramatic. Now the whole drug situation, I don't know if that's to be true. I wouldn't be surprised though. But there was a time that I went to a party. It was a Daniel Nardicio party in New York a couple of years ago. And this is before Billy Porter made it big and was like, on Pose and stuff. I think there might have been 3 or 4 years prior to him being on Pose. I remember I was at a party. Sir Ari Gold, may he rest in peace, who was also the ex of Billy Porter. He and Billy dated at a while back. Ari Gold was in a cage. He was a go-go dancer. He's openly gay R&B singer. He passed away a couple of years ago from cancer. I think maybe 2 years ago. Best friends with Kevin Aviance. Now, he was in the cage dancing. I remember that. I was, drinking. There was a back room handling my business. And I do remember that I was at the club and I was on the dance floor. I was dancing, and I do remember seeing Billy there with a white guy. I'm assuming because I don't remember. It was a blur. It was a while ago that it was. I might have been Adam Smith. They were together. I don't know if they were married, if they were boyfriend and boyfriend, if they were just dating. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do remember that I remember seeing him at this party. It was a party in Midtown. I cannot remember the exact location of where it was, but I remember it was a Midtown party, and child, I was good and drunk, and I was carrying. But I do remember that Billy was there. So, was there drugs involved? I don't know. I ain't never seen him snort the booger sugar. I've never seen him do any kind of crazy e-pills or whatever the case is. But look, when you are part of the gay community and you go to parties in New York, drugs do be getting passed around. Drinks do be flowing, and it is what it is. So if they do drugs or recreational drugs or whatever the case is, and they pass time, that's their business. They both over 21. They both grown. So Billy can do whatever the hell he want to do, right? Okay, so let's get to this topic, our final topic of the show. We almost at the 1 hour mark. Look at me keeping good time. Because we did like what, maybe a good 5 topics that I've done so far. Okay, so let's get to this topic because I was like, this was an interesting topic that I saw on social media earlier today. So, well, actually, it wasn't today; it was yesterday. So, there's this Instagram website that I like to go on. It's called. Well, I always get. It so happens every time I flip open my phone, it always takes me to like Gay Magazine, and I like a lot of the stuff that they post on there. Now, there was one conversation that I thought was fairly interesting that I wanted everybody to kind of hear, and then I want to give my opinion on. So there was a gay guy. I don't know if he was coming from the club and he had a couple of drinks, but he was spilling some shit, and I don't know. I kind of agree with him. So he went and said that he's sick and tired of straight people occupying queer spaces. He said, "I'm over it. I'm tired of y'all coming up in our establishments and trying to take over the situation." So what I want to do is I want to play all this clip, and um so that way y'all get basically you get the opinion on it. Well, hear what he's got to say, and I'll give my opinion on it. Okay, here we go.
Straight girls and shit, can y'all please stop coming to the gay bars and like tonguing your man and shit down? Like, girl, take your ass to your bars. Sick of seeing straight bitches and their boyfriends and shit up in the club. Make it out. Girl, y'all have your own space. Get the fuck out the gay clubs. Get the fuck out the gay clubs. The gay clubs is not your safe space as a heterosexual person. Get out. And I will tell you in a high minute, get the fuck out. This is not your space, girl. It is not your space, girl. Take that shit to the straight bar. We don't come to the straight bars tonguing each other down. So don't come to the gay bars. Say it's okay if you do come and tongue each other down. The fuck? Raggedy bitches. And I said that. On period.
So on period. Now, this has been a conversation that has been in our community for a long time. And people feel that, oh, that's discrimination. I'm like, get off my line with that bullshit. Now, I kind of agree. I'm sorry, but no shade. I'm gonna have to. I actually agree with what he said on this whole situation because for a long time I've kind of had this idea regarding with straight people coming into a gay establishment. Now, we know the reason why a lot of times that the reason for gay establishments is because we didn't feel safe in straight establishments. There, you can be a butch queen to a point, and you can be straight acting and go out to, straight clubs and mingle with those people and not have to worry about, being looked at funny, called all kinds of names, or possibly being bashed when you leaving the club. Or if you're a woman who happens to be trans, you can't go into a straight space and not have to worry about, oh, if some straight dude in there is into you, and they find out that you're trans, and they boys is clowning him, and he's low-key interested, then you got to worry about possibly being harassed, things being thrown at you, being bashed, or whatever the case, or God forbid put 6 feet under. These are the things we have to worry about. So yeah, they created these spaces. Now I can go into a whole history on, gay establishments being created, and the fact that we couldn't hold hands and dance and do those other things, and the police raids. If y'all want to know about all that, there's many stories about it. You can look up the Google the Stonewall riots. You can look at all the documentaries around that. You can also check out Fellow Travelers on Showtime, which has been, they've been more into the political, the gays and in politics and stuff, but there's been a lot of scenes of being in a bar, in the gay bars, and the police raids and all that other stuff. So you get to see the history in regards of, all of that in regards to this. Oh, so Felix said it's like what Billy Porter said about straight actors playing gay roles. Well, the thing about the straight actors playing gay roles, kind of, that's a real slippery slope whenever we talk about that, because it's like, as thinking in the mindset of an actor, I want the opportunity to play a various amount of roles. I would love to be able to be an openly gay person in my own personal life. If there's a good, cool role that comes out that happens to be, gay centered, I would love to be able to go up for that. But I also want to be able, like, if there's an opportunity for somebody to play Batman or Quicksilver or one of those superheroes in the MCU or the DCU or any other U's, I would like to be able to go up for that too. So I wouldn't want to be discriminated against where they're saying, oh, well, because I'm gay, I can't play a superhero. When there's a lot of actors who y'all may not know about that's been playing superheroes that be slobbing on the meat popsicle behind the scenes that y'all don't know about. Um, so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the fact that, there's not a lot of opportunities for gay people in media or in film that want to go up for certain roles and they're not considered. Y'all always want to give everything to a straight guy because either they're more appealing on the eye, or you could sell the product better, or you feel that you could sell the product better to a studio or to the certain the movie markets and all that other stuff. So I don't like that. I feel like there should be opportunities for everyone to kind of come in and audition for a role. So it's like, if you're going to put something out there, everybody should be able to have the opportunity to audition. You shouldn't only just be discriminating, in my opinion, with just, let's just automatically pick a straight person. Because I did see one of my friends on social media post something about Bradley Cooper. I think he just directed a movie. He's playing a gay guy. He's married to a straight woman. And they were like, well, maybe people aren't that outraged because that it's not something of this generation. That it's something that this is about a character that is, from a million years ago. Felix says, I was actually talking about this with my friend about there not being trans bars. They go to gay bars. But I remember 20 years ago, guys saying they were straight but hooking up with trans girls. Oh, that's always going around. And funny enough, I'm like, are there not any trans bars? Definitely let me know down in the comments. Because I remember when I watched Pose, I never really thought about this, probably because I'm not trans, so I didn't understand all of that other stuff. But I remember when I would go to gay clubs, I would always be around the trans women and hanging out with the trans women. I made friends with a lot of the trans girls that were hanging out in a lot of the establishments, particularly a lot of the queer people of color establishment, like the black gay bars. When I was younger, and I used to go to Two Potato, and I used to go to Chi Chi's, which was in the West Village, going towards the pier. Those were my spots. So I went to Two Potato and I went to Chi Chi's. May those places rest in peace. I wish they would come back because that was the spot. Then I also would go to the Hangar, but I didn't go to the Hangar as much. And then also we had Esquelita, which I totally missed that club. It's now Red Eye. Daniel Ardicio, who I mentioned in a previous post when I was talking about, he's a friend of mine. He actually owns Red Eye, which is in the old Esquelita, spot down in downtown. So I do miss a lot of those establishments. And damn, what was the other one? There was no parking in the Bronx. There was so many great establishments that was geared towards our community that I totally miss in New York. So I don't mind trans people in our establishment. I know there was a lot of discrimination back in the day because I remember watching Pose and I was like, really? That there were a lot of gay establishments that were very anti-trans, but I think those were a lot of those establishments that were run by white people, which when that episode, when they kept Blanca out and she was being real stubborn, she was like, y'all gonna serve me a damn drink up in here. And they kept throwing her out on her ass. So there was that. But back to this whole situation is like, I think straight people need to realize, or maybe, I'm putting myself in the mindset of these women that come to the gay establishments. So I'm wondering, okay, so I know like maybe women come to our sides because they don't want to be felt up on, harassed, discriminated against, all these other things in the straight establishment. They feel like, oh, let me just go to the gay bar so I can just have a drink and these straight dudes will leave me alone and all this other stuff. But I haven't noticed, especially in the period when I lived in LA. I haven't really been going out to the bars and clubs in a while. But when I lived in LA and I would see like Hamburger Mary's, the brunches and all this stuff, the drag brunches, they would bring all these straight people would be coming in there, women with their bachelorette parties. You see full-on families coming up in there drinking and being entertained by the drag queens, which, I understand we got the discrimination, all that stuff going on with that, with the politicians using that as a distraction for the other mess. But but I feel like if you're gonna come to our establishment, just have respect, because a lot of times I see that a lot of the people do not have respect when they come into our establishments, and they're, coming up in there, they're being loud, they're being rude and disrespectful. The drag queens are trying to perform, and then you got straight drunk girls and some of their boyfriends, whatever they be bringing up in there, that get on the floor, and they all up in the way of the drag queens, and the drag queens getting pissed, so they got to drop kick their ass or read them for points because you're interrupting their show. So there's a bit of frustration in there. It's like, I don't mind straight people coming to our establishment, but y'all got to be respectful to our stuff. And I also feel like a lot of times maybe gay people feel this way is because this is the one place where they feel that they could be themselves and they could be safe without being judged or discriminated against. Even though, yeah, we have our shit where gay people will come in and we have our own thing where we go up against each other, we throw shade and we read and we do all these things too. But that ain't what this conversation is. But I'm just trying to cover all sides. So people, but we ain't doing that. But with the straight people and all those other stuff, it's like, if you're gonna come in our establishment, just be respectful of our spaces and understand where a lot of us is coming from in regards to these gripes. Because I guess it's like the gays want to be up in our establishments, cutting up, making out with our dudes, or doing what we need to be doing. Especially, I remember a friend of mine, Brian, who lives in Winter Manors, Florida. I remember like when he did this show called Late Night Cruiser, it was like a podcast. And I remember that he would talk about how, and I don't know, he was just getting in trouble for this because people would feel like, oh, he was being misogynistic. Especially because, he worked at the Cock in Manhattan. Like, he was one of my favorite people. He was a bartender there. And he would talk about how, like, in the bar that he worked, there's a back room where men can have a little super happy fun time with each other. Cruising and all other stuff goes on in there. And people would bring gay guys, or girls would bring their straight boyfriends. Gay guys would bring their straight girlfriends up in there and then leave the girls at the bar or even in the back room while they was off in the bathroom carrying, or in the corner carrying, or on the couch slobbing somebody knob. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, first of all, why are you bringing this girl up in here to be left alone? You're not even here watching out for her, hanging out with her, do all these things. And you basically are you leaving her to all by herself while you over in the corner carrying. You should just came by your damn self, or at least find you another whole friend, male, who's gay, that you could have brought up in there, and y'all could have carried together. You off doing what you doing, he off doing what he doing. But why y'all even subject these women to that? So I remember there was an argument with that, and he used to get accused of misogyny, but I don't think that's what that is. I feel like we as queer people should be able to have our own spaces to do what we do, and without having to and say what we want to say, and have our own gripes and our own situations without the fear of being judged or being accused of being misogynistic, or we're discriminatory, discriminative, not discriminatory, being discriminative and all that other stuff. So I definitely feel him on what he was saying. And no judgment. And I feel like this is something that we should be doing. Like, we should be able to have these type of conversations without the fear of being canceled or being ridiculed, or the fact that it's like, oh, well, you're going to, we should destroy you, or whatever the case is, because you don't agree with the stuff that I'm saying. So, so that's all I got to say on that. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I mean, I had Felix in here in the live show giving his opinion on the whole conversation. But if y'all happen to watch the playback, definitely leave your comments down below and let me know what you guys think on this subject about, straight people occupying queer spaces, particularly women, or men, women bringing their boyfriends up in the gay establishment so they could make out with them and do all this other stuff, which I guess rubs us the wrong way, because there's times we don't want to see breeders up in our establishment doing dick carrying in our establishment. Y'all got your own place for that. We should be able to have our own place where we could carry and be ourselves. Because I remember I'm coming from a time where before, when it was like, you worked your regular 9 to 5, or you worked whatever shift that you had, and then after that you went to happy hour, or you went to the bar. Like when I would go to Splash, or I would go to those other places, get my drink, they be having Britney Spears and Gwen Stefani and all them videos playing in the background, and I'd be doing my little dance and have my martini and drinking and carrying and flirting with the bartenders and doing all the stuff, and I could let my hair down and be myself without having to play a certain role that we all have to play when we're out in the corporate world. So I definitely want to know your guys' opinion on this story, because I want to bring, as I continue to do this podcast, I definitely want to bring a lot more stories that, what's going on in our community and really bring those conversations up and incorporate you guys in the conversation as well. Because I feel like all for a debate. I love a good debate. I love a good back and forth conversation without people getting, nasty or rude and things of that nature. So yeah, before we go, I would definitely want to put up my cash app one more good time. So if y'all want to donate a little coin y'all can definitely do that. If you don't, it's fine. But if you do, it definitely helps out with the show, since I'm producing the show by myself and putting all this together. I'm still learning some things. I was trying to figure out how to upload the intro that I had on my other show through the whole thing. So I got to figure out how to do the whole MP4 and upload all that stuff up in here. It's a whole lot. But we're at the end of the show. Like I said before, if you want to follow all my social media platforms, if you're watching on YouTube, you could definitely look down in the description and look up all my social media platforms. You can follow me there on my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, my all the social media platforms, my Twitter. Like I told you, I ain't calling it the other word that what's his name done turn that shit into. What's his name? Elon Musk. Yeah, so we're not calling it that foolishness. It's always gonna be Twitter, in my opinion. So yeah, thank you all for watching. We're at the end of the show. Let me know if unfortunately, if you didn't catch the live show, you could catch the playback. Make sure you comment on the topics that I have listed in the description, as well as follow me on all my social media platforms, which I also have down in the description. Please also be sure to click the like button, follow me on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, do all the stuff. It definitely helps with the algorithm. I'm trying to do multiple shows a week now, so that way I catch you guys up on the latest hot topics. So until next time, everybody, love you all for watching, and thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. All that good stuff. Have good for having me on in the background. Until next time, ciao, darlings.